Hey, what's up, couch and potatoes? This might not be the kind of topics that I usually talk about in here, but I want to discuss this documentary I just watched on HBO called Charlie Hustle and the Matter of Pete Rose. Now, Pete Rose is always going to be just one of those conversations that never will die because the man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But here it is. Watching that made me more upset than I have been because, look, when Pete Rose got in trouble, I was very young. I barely remember him as a player, really. I remember watching the game where he broke Ty Cobb's record. That was awesome. You know, that was really one of my defining, like most people, it was Cal Ripken, getting the Iron Man record. For me, Pete Rose breaking that record was amazing, because that was one of those that we thought would never be touched. But watching this documentary, I have to say I appreciated it a lot more than a lot of stuff. Because whenever you talk about Pete Rose, all that ever comes up is the controversy. He bet on baseball, is banned from the game, should he be allowed in the Hall of Fame? That's what everybody always talks about. No one ever really talks about his career anymore. And what I liked was this was going off of his, his reinstatement efforts. But it also went through the guy's entire career and shows this is one of the greatest players to ever play the game. It's amazing what the guy was able to do. Maybe the best hitter of all time. He didn't really hit for power, but the guy was just like maybe the best like singles doubles hitter ever. It's amazing what he did. I was like 4,256 hits. That's a record that will never be broken. I think what I really did love is that it showed how the guy as a player was actually able to help teams get over the hump. Because, it showed those struggles. The Big Red Machine, dominant through the 70s, right? And the thing was, for 3 straight years, they lost in the playoffs, games they should have won, and they could never really get over that hump. And it showed those struggles, and it showed that why it was so much sweeter when they went to back-to-back in 75 and 76, and it showed when he left and went to Philadelphia, helped them get over the hump. And you got Mike Schmidt on there, another Hall of Fame player who just cannot stop talking about how Pete Rose made him the player that he was, So I think it was one of those, it was like, I expected it to be like another, just look how awful of a human being this is. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that Pete Rose is a class act guy. Even today, he still says some stuff that's like, wow, you just don't know when to stop, do you? He doesn't have a buffer. To me, we're talking about the Hall of Fame here. We're not talking about the Hall of Good Human. Was he a pedophile? No. Was he a rapist? No. With me, it was like the guy was an amazing ball player. He made a mistake. America is the land of second chances. And in the end, for me, it's got me thinking that, if you let the steroid era players in, you start to let that forgiveness happen, and you let them into the Hall of Fame, and you still don't let Pete Rose even be on the ballot, it's unbelievable. To this point, it's like everyone wants it to happen. The fans want it. Most of the players want it. Hell, even the sports writers, which, by the way, we've got the dumbest voting system for the Hall of Fame. Dumbest. Absolutely dumbest format ever. I don't understand what is the holdup. It's been almost 40 years. The guy has done his time for his crime. Give him another chance. At this point, just put him on the ballot. You might have some publicists who still just use it as an opportunity to grandstand. He doesn't get in on the first try. I don't see how you could not vote from this point, because I think it would feel like it would be just some pressure on those publicists to be like, okay, well, we need to vote him in on this first try because they might change their mind again. To me, it's like, it feels very petty. It feels like they're literally just waiting for the guy to die and then they'll put him in there. And it's such a tragic story. And there's a lot of people, there are detractors in the documentary. There are people that are pro Pete Rose or people that are anti Pete Rose. With me, it's like, I was always I always kind of thought that he did it, but to me, it was about what you do in the field. You haven't killed anybody. He did something despicable. He did his time. I think, 10 years even was plenty of time. We're talking 40 years for this thing, for betting on baseball. Are you serious? Didn't Shohei Ohtani just do that? Yeah, you ain't getting rid of him, are you? For me, it's been long enough, and I want to hear his Hall of Fame speech. I want this to happen while he's alive, because it just would feel like you're completely just stealing this from fans if you don't let that happen. It'd be really embarrassing, I think. But the guy was just an electric ball player. Charlie Hustle is a nickname, that has been thrown around every time someone legs it out the first and beats out a single. The guy was just an institution, and he was everything that was great about the game. And it's just ridiculous that here we are in 2024, 20 plus years after he fessed up and admitted that he lied. He lied for a decade plus about betting on baseball, but he fessed up to it. He has done his time. Let him in the freaking Hall of Fame. But with me, that documentary did make me much more angry because, like I said, I really did believe that eventually this would happen. I mean, after he did come clean and admit it, I understood it would be like a little bit more, well, we're not just going to give a slap on the wrist, but okay, well, now you can get in now. 20 plus years since he admitted it. I mean, come on. Just give me a break already. Just let the guy in the freaking Hall of Fame. I would love to see it. I know that most people out there would like to see it. And honestly, I feel like people in the tri-state Ohio area would probably be tired of this. They would enjoy this topic that's probably very tired for them to go away. So there's more things for Sports Radio to talk about. But great documentary. HBO does amazing documentaries, especially their sports stuff. Just top notch. But I highly recommend. It's 4 episodes. It is you cannot stop watching. It's some of the best binge television I've watched here in a minute. I can watch a documentary or anything, a sports documentary especially, but when it's on a player like this and the way that they do it, they interweave it with going through, his career from the 60s all the way to present day, is just such a thrilling ride. If you don't know anything about the players, it's a great time for you to get educated. And I'm willing to bet by the end of it, you'd be like, yeah, it's kind of absurd that we don't have maybe the greatest hitter of all time in the Baseball Hall of Fame. In the end, yeah, it's just a museum, but it is the fact of the matter. There's nothing the guy wants more in his life, and there's nothing more I feel like a lot of baseball fans would like to see. So this is partly a rant video, but it's also partly just me saying, hey, this is a really great documentary. I think everyone should check it out. HBO, you can do a free trial for a week. Do that. Check it out. I think you will really enjoy it. You don't even have to be really a big baseball fan if you're just really interested in documentaries. And obviously, I think as Americans, we like to see fallen heroes get back up. And I feel like Pete Rose has done that. Again, he's not the most charming person. In fact, he probably rubs everyone the wrong way. But if we can put a piece of human garbage like Ty Cobb, one of the greatest baseball players of all time, don't misunderstand me, but a piece of human garbage. We put someone like him in the Hall of Fame. Why can't we put Pete Rose in there? I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And this is something I thought that I had gotten over. But watching this documentary, I very much realized I am not over it. Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, and you guys should watch this documentary. It's very, very good. Highest of recommends. It's called Charlie Hustle and the Matter of Pete Rose. I think you will enjoy it.